when you talk about counties being red, the state of Indiana is on fire.
A warning tonight from state leaders as the governor puts new COVID-19 restrictions in place. Good evening, everyone. I'm Brooke Martin.
And I'm Phil Sanchez. Thank you for joining us tonight. Hospitals overwhelmed. Healthcare workers are preparing to handle thousands of vaccinations. And for the first time in more than a century, Purdue and IU are not playing the Oaken bucket game. We've got team coverage, and we start tonight with News 8's Stan Klein.
Governor Eric Holcomb announced a strict cap on social gatherings like weddings and funerals. For counties that are in red, it's 25 people. For counties which are orange, it's 50 people. And local health departments are no longer allowed to provide any exemptions. It's part of his top 10 to-do list, which he says, if followed, will change the entire trajectory for the state.
The state of Indiana is on fire.
And you can see what Governor Eric Holcomb means when you look at the numbers of cases per 100,000 residents. For a fourth straight week, every county in red with more than 200 cases per 100,000. But in reality, only 2 are under 400 and 7 are above 1,000.
A place where we never want to be, and I don't want us to linger in this neighborhood longer than we are.
So he unveiled his 10-item to-do list for Hoosiers. And while some you've heard before, some may be new. First, limiting the size of gatherings. Second, pausing non-emergency procedures at hospitals. Third and fourth, following the mask mandate and keeping a 6-foot social distance from others. Fifth, washing hands throughout the day.
If we do, it will make a positive difference on where we are 1 month from where we sit today.
Sixth, getting tested if you're sick or have symptoms. Seventh, staying home and isolating if you test positive. Eighth, asking employers to talk to their employees.
Employers, please talk to your employees. What we see so often is the safest place someone is all day long is at work. But it's what happens outside of work that is then brought back into work.
Ninth, asking people to give blood and to food pantries that are seeing an increased need. 10th, staying informed about the vaccine. It's the light on the other side, but Dr. Bach says for most Hoosiers, it's still probably 6 months away.
But we still have to cross that bridge of time to get there. A bridge built on mask wearing, hand washing, social distancing.
The fact that we're even talking about a vaccine into this week or next week,
it's incredible,
is a modern medical miracle.
While social gatherings have those strict limits, K through 12 extracurriculars and sports are limited to players, parents, and essential personnel. Meanwhile, college and pro games can have up to 25% capacity in the stands. Governor Holcomb says and agrees that he's somewhat picking and choosing, but he says they're trying to do it intelligently and also let data drive those decisions. Reporting live at the State House, Dan Klein, Wish TV, wishtv.com, and be sure to follow us on Facebook.
Dan, thanks so much. Let's dig into more of the numbers that have prompted that message from the governor. State health officials say 98 more people have died. Those deaths happened between November 6th and December 8th. More than 6,200 Hoosier deaths are now linked to the pandemic. There are more than 5,800 new cases. In all, 398,417 people have tested positive for the virus. And beginning next week, you will not be able to receive any non-emergency inpatient procedures for 3 weeks. News 8's Demi Johnson live downtown. And Demi, Governor Holcomb hopes this will lighten the load on hospital staff.
Yeah, it's no secret hospitals are struggling and in some cases have even had to turn people away. Today, state health officials said they expect another jump in cases after the holidays, and they don't want hospitals to become overrun.
Our nurses and our doctors, understandably, assistants are overwhelmed and beyond exhausted.
Doctors say now far more than at the beginning of the pandemic.
Like, we are in a far worse place than in the spring.
In an effort to help, Governor Eric Holcomb is requiring hospitals to reschedule or postpone non-emergent inpatient procedures from December 16th until January 3rd.
So we can try to clear out some beds, give some relief to our hospital personnel and network.
Today, the state reported 3,244 hospitalizations, 84% higher than early November.
The hospitals, it's a stressful place right now.
Dr. Gabriel Boslett from University Hospital says even after 9 months, he still doesn't think the point has gotten across to everyone.
Sort of the emotional pain of people kind of minimizing what's going on. That's hard. You know, it's really hard. We'll never see anything like this again as long as we live, I hope. And, you know, you just want humanity to rise to the challenge. And it's been hard.
And even though many hospitals are full, Boslett says there's an overwhelming sense of loneliness.
The fact that there are no family members when I go in to see patients and I see, you know, these are patients in the ICU, on ventilators, critically ill. To not see family members there is absolutely demoralizing.
Holcomb says briefly halting some hospital functions will allow staff to focus on the most critical patients and buy time for the arrival of the vaccine.
They are trying to recharge their batteries maybe one day a week to go into one of the toughest environments that anyone in our state's history has had to face on a day in, day out basis or endure, all on behalf of trying to make other people better.
Governor Holcomb did stress anyone with serious health issues should continue seeing their doctor. Live downtown, Demi Johnson, Wish TV, wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook.
All right, Demi, thank you very much. So we could be just days away from the first COVID vaccines arriving in central Indiana, and pharmacies getting ready. When it's widely available, we're told getting one would look a lot like getting the flu shot. Walgreens spokesperson says they've got the expertise, cold storage capacity, and thousands of locations where the vaccine will be administered. CVS Health also plans to have the vaccine at all of its locations. And once they're up and running, they have the capacity to administer 20 to 25 million shots every month.
Creating online apps, ways that we can actually have them sign up online. We can verify their eligibility and then schedule them times not only for their first shot, but also for the subsequent shot to ensure they have serious completion where it's necessary.
You'll get an appointment for both your first vaccination, your second vaccination, and then we will keep after you to make sure you come back for that second vaccination.
The federal government already has a list of chain and independent pharmacies where you'll be able to get the coronavirus vaccine. You can find that list online right now, wishtv.com.
Well, the surge in Indiana is majorly affecting college sports and a huge Hoosier rivalry.
I want to get straight to sports director Anthony Calhoun joining us now with the very latest. AC?
A lot of discussion tonight regarding Purdue, IU, and the bucket game coming up on Saturday. Good evening to you. The pandemic continues to cause havoc in the Big Ten. Today, Indiana and Purdue both announced that they have mutually agreed to cancel the Old Oakland bucket game for this year. The game was scheduled to take place on Saturday down in Bloomington, but that will not be the plan this year after more COVID-19 cases have risen among both programs. Boilers and Hoosiers both called practice off just yesterday because of COVID-19. This is the first time that IU and Purdue haven't played each other since 1919. Last year, the Hoosiers beat Purdue up in West Lafayette, but the Boilers lead the all-time series 74-42-6. Now, sticking with the Big Ten tonight, Ohio State will play Northwestern in the Big Ten championship game coming up next weekend at Lucas Oil Stadium. The Buckeyes are just 5-0 on the season, but the Big Ten decided today to remove the 6-game minimum for eligibility to play in the championship game, which opened the door for the Buckeyes to play against the Wildcats. Brooke.
All right, AC, thanks so much. Our coverage of the pandemic continues online. There you can find more information from the state on numbers and county status. There's also an interactive map tracking cases across the world. It's all at wishtv.com.